People with insomnia have a higher risk of disease and even death, so much higher that poor sleep could actually triple your risk of heart failure. The study zeroed in on 3 major symptoms of insomnia: difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up feeling like you haven't slept enough. One of those symptoms will increase your risk of heart failure by 17% compared to people who sleep well, and 2 symptoms, your heart failure risk will double. That's huge. I mean, this is scary. I'm not done. And if you've got the insomnia hat trick with all 3 major symptoms, you've got triple the risk. They have a higher risk of death from about any cause, starting at 25% higher for one symptom, shooting up all the way to 139% higher for all 3. Now, before you comment, we've got difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and feeling like you didn't get a good sleep. So you could actually be sleeping 8 hours and just not sleeping well. And that can be caused by other problems, right? Stuffy nose or, you know.
Well, yes, there's other medical conditions like sleep apnea, for example, that can cause it, restless leg syndrome. So you may be sleeping, but the quality of sleep is very poor.
Okay, so that seems like the main, you need to have a good quality of sleep, because having a hard time going to sleep, or if it just takes you a while to go to sleep, that's okay as long as it's a good 8 hours of sleep.
There's a few reasons for that. That's when your body regenerates, including your brain cells, your heart. It's a big stress to the body when you're not getting enough sleep.
Okay, so then what can we do to help with this insomnia?
Well, first of all, people have to get in a regular pattern. They have to get to sleep typically no later than 10 p.m. You have a natural circadian rhythm your body wants to follow. If you start going to bed past 11 p.m. and later, it throws off your stress hormone balance. You don't get that deep REM sleep you often hear about in the news, where your body regenerates. So healthy patterns, not using stimulants later in the day, caffeine, for example. And if need be, use natural sleep agents to help you fall and stay asleep. That can range from things like passion flower, which is a mildly calming herb, to things like melatonin, the sleep hormone.
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on there, having a good pattern, because people fall asleep in front of the television, we fall asleep on the computer, we fall asleep, reading a book. Those are all bad habits, and then you wake up, 2 hours later and you feel terrible. You try to go to sleep and you can't stay asleep. So I think the patterns is pretty key there.
Oh, no doubt. A lot of people do have a poor pattern. By the way, other recent studies have shown that people gain weight when they're up at night on the internet, on their Facebook and so forth. People gain weight much more readily as well.
Just not sleeping enough hours. Right. It can be really doing anything at that point.
Well, it slows your metabolism down. People are more apt to snack. But ultimately, you don't get enough sleep. Your brain cells cannot regenerate. But as you can see, it's harmful on the whole body. It stresses your heart.
Yeah.
The stress hormones go up. Your immune system gets affected. The whole body gets affected.